Hi, this is Ren, and this is All Walks of Film. So many of you know Disney has a long rap sheet of corruption and shady business practices, and the news of Disney screwing over its workers once again isn't a huge surprise, but it is certainly worth addressing, since now they've targeted their higher paid IT workers and have exploited a legal loophole for cheap labor. In 2014, 250 tech employees at Disney were laid off despite high performance ratings, and they were told that they would have to train their replacements, temporary foreign workers with an H-1B visa, mostly from India. With these new replacements, Disney saved themselves hundreds of thousands by hiring people willing to work for less. This humiliating experience proves the lengths that major companies will go to save a buck. But don't take my word for it. Here's a clip of Leo Pereiro, a brave man and tech employee at Disney, who filed a lawsuit against the company.
I made a change in the direction of my career because January 31st of 2015 was my last day in the technology field. That day, 20 years of hard work, a bachelor's degree in information technology, and an IT job for Disney were all over when my team, along with hundreds of others, were displaced by a less skilled foreign workforce imported into our country using the H-1B visa program. The former Disney employees with far superior skills and knowledge were the trainers, and the guest workers just entering the technology field were the trainees. This situation is far from the original intent of this program and is shocking to everybody that hears it. I worked at Disney in Orlando in some capacity for well over 10 years and received the very highest employment performance review. Quotes included, "Leo continues to provide value to our team. This year, Leo was instrumental. Leo saved the company over $10,000. And finally, I look forward to another great year of having Leo on our team." During the holiday season of 2014, I was sent a meeting invitation by a prominent Disney executive. With an excellent review in hand, along with the company announcements of record profits, my mind buzzed with thoughts of promotion or bonus. I walked into a small conference room with about 24 highly respected fellow IT workers. The Disney executive made a harsh announcement to us all. All of you in this room will be losing your jobs in the next 90 days. Your jobs have been given over to a foreign workforce. In the meantime, you will be training your replacements until your jobs are 100% transferred over to them, and if you do not cooperate, you will not receive any severance pay. The only glimmer of hope during that meeting was the announcement that new, more exciting jobs would be opening soon. However, we found out that only 4 people would be directly rehired by Disney of the hundreds that were lost.
Wow, that's really messed up. So how does that work? First of all, I have to emphasize that the workers coming in on an H-1B visa are not immigrants. The H-1B visa program was created in 1990 to allow companies to bring in skilled workers from other countries if they were unable to find them here in the United States. However, businesses can claim they don't have any skilled American workers by conveniently overlooking a pile of resumes. The H-1B visa is a work visa that allows foreign workers to work 3 to 6 years and then return to their home country, which means the opportunities for people on H-1B status to climb up the ladder are very slim. When the job's up, they just hire more workers. But hey, wait, wouldn't the people on H-1B status have to be paid the same as other workers? Yes, but here's where it gets tricky. For specialized workers, they're paid what's called a prevailing wage, an hourly wage usually with benefits and overtime. The salary rates are developed and determined generally every 3 years from surveys and collective bargaining agreements. So if the median wage for tech workers is $75,000 a year, the general ballpark for applicants will be around that. Bring in the techie with an H-1B visa. He's willing to work for a minimum of $50,000 a year. Hired. You just saved the company $25,000. But why stop there? Why not hire a bunch of H-1B status workers? You can save the company $100,000 with 4. The hiring CEO saves the company money and gets a raise, while the qualified American workers are still trying to figure out why they can't find jobs. Hiring H-1B workers hurts the working standards for skilled workers in the United States. Job security in the United States is practically non-existent, and if we continue to set this low a standard, then we lower the standards for an even larger pool of Americans, setting an even larger wage gap between rich and poor. The big companies don't care about local workers because they profit off of cheap labor, and they get an added bonus of having workers who don't complain, because if they get fired, they lose their visa. I think it's important to state that it isn't the workers' fault for wanting to get work. It's the fault of corporations like Disney capitalizing on legal loopholes to feed into the top CEOs' pockets. However, we must be tactful when discussing the issue because it's easy to fall into the trappings of racism and xenophobia. The issue at hand is the standard of all workers, not the color of anyone's skin. Low standards for workers hurts all workers.
I started to think what kind of an American I was becoming. Was I going to become part of ruining our country by taking severance pay in exchange for training my foreign replacement? How many other American families would be affected by the same foreign worker that I trained? The first part of my 90-day period was focused on capturing all that we did with our jobs. We all felt extremely humiliated when the foreign worker sat next to us and watched everything that we did. The final period of the 90 days was the most disgraceful and demoralizing as we had to watch the foreign workers completely take over our jobs. And we came to grips that the upcoming Disney jobs promise didn't exist. Then finally on January 31st of 2015, we were ordered to turn in our company badges, laptops, and then ushered out the door. How can it be that everybody that hears these stories about Disney and the like, from the barbers to the bankers, are completely shocked? Yet our lawmakers continue to debate the topic and take no action.
So the Department of Labor has opened an investigation with the biggest outsourcing companies, Disney and an electric company in Southern California called Edison, which laid off hundreds of American workers. Former Disney workers have filed complaints with the Federal Equal Opportunity Commission, claiming they face discrimination for being U.S. citizens. Local recruiters told the New York Times that while Disney publicly claims that they will hire back the workers, Disney managers would avoid rehiring workers that have been laid off. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. This is your host and editor, Ren. Further information is in the description below. Thanks for watching.